Hello there, YouTube. Raj here. Hope all of you out there are doing well. Got another review for you today on a fragrance, on a brand that, to be honest, wasn't really on my radar. I'd heard about them a couple of times through other YouTube reviewers, but it's not something that I have like great visibility on. So I managed to get this bottle from a fellow reviewer, so I won't say who it was, but thank you, you know who you are. And this one is from the brand Phlur, and the fragrance is called Hepcat. So this seems to be like, I've done a little bit of looking research on their website. They seem to be a new company based out of the US. They seem to, they've mentioned things like being environmentally friendly or things along that nature. I'm not going to go into huge detail. You can go onto their website, phlur.com. So the fragrance I'm talking about today is Hepcat, and it's a pretty cool bottle. I like the bottle design. You've got the word Hepcat there, the symbol this on top of the bottle, which is magnetic, and you've got the name Phlur going around the side. It's a 50 ml bottle, and it's an eau de parfum, and it's also made in the USA. It says Austin, Texas, actually. So okay, so yeah, so the word Hepcat. So it's not a word that I've ever heard before, but on the Phlur website it says this is the word Hepcat was basically a name used to describe jazz aficionados back in the 1940s and 50s. So yeah, so that's basically what they've come for. What they've done with this fragrance is they've tried to make it smoky. They've said fearless. They said it's raw, and just like the people who inspired it. The notes with this one on the Phlur website are saffron, black vetiver, tobacco, and oud. I've also noticed on Fragrantica they mention cherry. There's no mention of it here, but yeah. So a 50 ml sells for $88. You can also buy samples from their website as well. This is the only fragrance I've tried. I don't think I've ever seen this brand in the UK. Maybe I hadn't really been looking for it, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think is actually quite a nice fragrance. The performance of this one on me is quite good. I don't think it's amazing. I probably got around 6 to 7 hours. If it had gone on for a couple of extra hours, yeah, would have been great, but it tended to, after the 5 hour mark, it was quite close, and then it kind of disappears, and almost completely disappears from my skin after around 6 or 7 hours. But that's not a terrible amount of time for a fragrance to be on your skin. I think this is more of a fragrance to be worn in the evening time, and so that number of hours, if that's how long it lasts on your skin, I think could be pretty acceptable. I have worn this to work a few times. You could wear it, just be careful a little bit with the number of sprays. There is a smoky element to this fragrance. I think it's good on evenings, night outs, cool weather, but you could wear it in spring, I think also. I think you could wear it in autumn, fall, winter, summer evenings, I would say. So almost all year round. I have actually worn this in hot conditions though, and humid weather. And it's definitely quite a strong one in those conditions, but I think it works actually. So almost pretty much all year round. It feels like a very, very masculine fragrance. I think a lot of men will gravitate towards this fragrance. You've got smoke, you've got vetiver, you've got oud, there's saffron, there's an incensey vibe there, it's a woody vibe, all the hallmarks of a fragrance that is going to appeal to men. In the opening to this fragrance, I've done a fresh spray about an hour ago actually, so it's not really the opening, but I remember what I got from this fragrance is a real, quite authentic smokiness. It's like a bit of vetiver that's been burnt almost, or that is burning. There's a little bit of incense in there as well. There are some spices that are hard to define exactly what they are, but it feels like a mixture between like a bit of black pepper. The saffron, I'm not sure if I'm really picking up on saffron, but there is a spicy sweetness that often you do find in saffron, so maybe that's what those notes are, that's where those accords are coming from. There's something in here that reminds me of Tom Ford's oud wood, Tom Ford's tobacco oud, those types of fragrances. but without, oud wood has some sweetness to it. This one doesn't have any real sweetness. It's quite a dry fragrance. I wouldn't say it's a polarizing scent, but with notes like saffron and oud, it's always going to be maybe a little bit on the fence. Like, some people might not be too keen on this one, others will really, really like it if you really like that style. It never goes off the deep end, if you see what I mean, or no, it never goes into the deep end, in the sense that it's not too smoky, it's not heavy oud, it's actually quite mellow, and it's quite soft at times, so it's a little bit stripped back. It's not like some Oriental or Middle Eastern style fragrances that can be really thick and smoky and really black. This one doesn't really go down that route, it's quite measured. And I think the performance of this one, as I mentioned, isn't huge, but it lasts a decent amount of time. Going into the dry down, you pretty much do get those notes. It becomes tame, almost a little bit too tame, and it becomes quite tailored almost. You know, it's like there are no raw, rough edges around this fragrance, and it's like a sort of a campfire that's coming towards an end, and the burning embers are there. You've got some cedary notes in there, some very, very smoky, woody elements in there as well. The vetiver is actually quite nice. It is a nice smoky vetiver. I quite like the addition of that in here. Overall, it's a nice fragrance. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. I haven't really received any comments or good or bad, or definitely no compliments with this fragrance. I feel after the fragrance develops after a few hours, it tends to be, I would say, a little bit more, it would probably be a lot more agreeable to, so let's say, the everyday person, the average person. But in my experience, my feeling with this one, and based on my experience, is that you're not going to be, like, the whole world is not going to be commenting on how amazing you smell. It's quite a particular one. I think you have to have a certain confidence and almost a sort of don't care attitude about what other people say about your fragrance. So in terms of my rating, I'm going to go 7.5 out of 10. That's based on the fact that I would have liked it to have got just a couple more hours of longevity, and also the smokier vibe. Smokier fragrances aren't really my style, but I think it's a good fragrance, and I'm looking forward to trying a few more. I know there's been a lot of other reviewers who have done overviews of this brand on their channel, so I think I'll have to check those out. So guys, have you tried this fragrance? What do you think? Do you like it? How good is it in the brand compared to the other ones? Which other ones have you tried? And yeah, if you like what you see here, click the like button, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell. Check me out on Instagram, and feel free to leave any comments, whatever's on your mind, whatever you have to say it. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.